the top of the mid-off region, 6 runs.
Good shot there by Gaikwad. Outside the off-stump flighted delivery. And just hit it over the top. The man was in at mid-off. But at least he was doing something different. Wasn't as flighted as we may have thought. But he went through the line with the man at mid-off. Once it cleared his head, he was always safe.
What we saw during the change of overs, we saw someone coming out and bringing a pair of gloves and probably a message to the Indian opening batsman. And the first delivery, we saw a different in terms of the approach.
These tours and these games between, even though being unofficial ODI games, is a great opportunity to learn. And so obviously the coaching staff would have laid down a plan and they're working towards that plan, but they also want to see the players buy in and to see the players work towards improving their understanding and appreciation for the game situation.
The runs continue to flow freely from the bat of the Indian batsman. Gaikwad is now on to 75. Shubman Gill is on to 43. And the partnership continued to grow, 122 without loss.
When you look at the standards of international one-day cricket these days, a run a ball seems to be a minimum.
123 without loss at the end of over number 25. So at the halfway stage, the Indian team would think that they're on target. They didn't lose a wicket. They're 123. And they say you multiply by 2.5. So they're definitely expecting to reach somewhere close to about the 300 mark or so. Kenny Benjamin is back alongside me, and he'll just give me his assessment of what he has seen so far for the first 25.
The pitch looks really good, and the Indians are showing that. The way how they went about getting their runs, very, very simple indeed. No risk, working the ones, working the twos, and the odd boundary here or there. The sun is still out, and so it seems to me like the Indians have really assessed the pitch well. They have played well, and it looks to me like they have something big for us maybe down at the back end of this innings.
Certainly. Ooh, that's a good delivery there by Carripier. The Indians, though, still managing to get 2 runs, even with that fall stroke.
We spoke early on about the bigger field, more space, and the Indians have utilized this really, really well indeed.
And the runs seem to be coming very easily, Kenny Benjamin. They're not having to take too many risks. They're getting the singles freely. And this is good for the Indian batsmen. They get the odd boundary here or there, but they continue to turn the strike over. Good work. That again by the West Indies player. That looks to be Jonathan Carter, who continues to give the effort, and that's what you would want.
You can't say that the West Indies A-team fielders have not fielded well or the bowlers have bowled particularly poorly. You just have to give credit to the batsmanship shown here today by the Indian. Hey.
So 129 without loss at the end of over number 26. Carripier bowling well for the West Indies so far. 4 overs for 21 runs. And Ruston Chase It's 3 overs for 18 runs. And again, we see another sign, maybe another message coming out to the Indians, just bringing some water and a message. What do you think that the Indians are thinking? That they should probably be pushing on from here on?
I wonder with them playing so well, if they really need a message, maybe just the water. I think that they would understand and know. I believe that and they still have some time to go, still some 24 overs remaining. I think they will just continue to play normal. You know, Gaikwad is on 78. He would look to get into the three figures. Gill is 47. He would want to get his half century and maybe be a little bit more aggressive. But I believe that they will continue to play normal cricket. They're going very well so far. 129 without loss definitely represents that the Indian can reach somewhere close to 300, 320.
Being an A-team tour, do you think that sometimes they might be thinking, it's an opportunity also to try and get as many persons in as possible? So even though they are doing well, they would want to say, you know what, can I move on? Maybe if we lose a wicket here or there to get somebody else in, it might not be as bad.
Or maybe with the India big team coming back to the Caribbean, they want a very big score so that the Indian selectors could think, well, if they can do well in this condition, because one of the test matches will be played right here at the Vivian Stadium. So maybe they would want their names in the mouth of the selectors, so they want to get as much as they can.
We have Jordan returning. I think this is a good move by Captain Chase. Nothing was happening in those middle overs in terms of spin. The Indians were picking off the Windies A spinners. And so bringing back Jordan for a couple of overs, maybe just trying to see if he can break the partnership.
This is a typical Sir Vivian Richards Stadium pitch. Normally it gets it nice and hard. There is not a lot of turn, and so we see that the spinners being picked off very well by the Indians. We have to give them credit; they have played well, but not a lot of turn. We saw up at the first game there was some assistance for the spinners. Not so here.
Not so here. And it has been proven, as we know, here in Antigua to be a good batting track. A track where if you really get in, that the opportunity exists that you're going to make a lot of runs. Gaikwad would be looking, he would probably want to score a century here today. He's on 78. Gill, who is mostly date today, he's on 48. Would also want to do well.
Pitch is looking really easy and in bright sunshine here at Sir Viv Richards Cricket Stadium. What is it then, Mo? Is it Sir Viv Richards Cricket Stadium or it is Sir Viv Richards Cricket Ground? What is it?
The official name is Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Grounds, as was named by the government. But you know, in local vernacular, everybody in the country calls it the stadium. The Indians continue to accumulate their runs and without risk, just finding those gaps, finding those areas to score. And almost on almost every delivery, they're finding a way to score.
Is it a cricket ground then, Mo?
It's a stadium, Kenny Benjamin. It's a multi-purpose facility, and you know that I have strong views on that when it comes to its usage. I think that it can be used for so much more. But it was built in 2000 and for the 2007 World Cup, and it was built primarily for cricket. But the schedule is going to continue in Antigua and Barbuda. We continue on the 16th with the third ODI right here at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Ground. Then we go back to CCG for two ODIs, the 4th on July 19th and the 5th on July 21st. And then the first test from July 24th to 27 will be played right here at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Then we move down to Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad, July 31st to August 3rd for the second test. And we end in Trinidad, August 6th to 9th for the third test. So, Gill's 50 has come up, and a well-played 50. 50 runs off 72 deliveries in 99 minutes, Kenny Benjamin. He's been clearly the support role today for Gaikwad, but it's a good partnership being built by the Indian openers.
It is good batting from him, good batsmanship, good partnership. He understands that he's the quiet one, but he understood his role and he played it well. Good 50 by him.
Very good 50 by him. Caripia is in his 5th over, 22 runs so far from his bowling. We've seen that little dab stroke being played more often than not of Caripia just finding a way to run the ball down to third man and picking up runs every time they've done it. And the Indian batsmen, they've had the measure of Caripia in that regard.
Sometimes I think as a captain, you got to be a little bit creative. You know, we've seen, have a look again, and we see that little dab, and we've seen it very often. And I was just wondering, what if I put a slip in? What then? You know, just be a little bit creative, just to see if the batsman could make a change, because that's what sports is all about. If you can get your opposition to change their plans, then obviously they will fall into a mistake also. But we're not seeing that, and it continues.
Sometimes you got to move away from the conventional of it being in the middle overs, over number 27, and I'm not supposed to have a slip at that time, etc. You know, try something different, especially create the opportunity, create something. So we also have in Barbados, it's the West Indies Rising Star on the 17 championships. It's been played in Trinidad. Or Barbados. Oh, Barbados are on the 17 champions. They won the Rising Star. And I like the name change, Kenny Benjamin. The Rising Star Championship sort of gives it a little bit of gusto, a little bit of, you know, life. Do you like the name change?
But it seems a very short tournament. That I would like to have seen what is the structure, because I can remember when the team was leaving. It seems very short indeed.
Short delivery is put away by the batsman Gill. It was a long hop delivery from Akeem Jordan, and he just banged it away and picked up another boundary. The runs continue to leak here from the West Indies A team. The Indians continue to march on, 139 now without loss. It was a nothing delivery, a short delivery, and the batsman just hit it away, Kenny Benjamin.
If you're going to bowl short, you got to get it high. You got to get it up around the head. Make sure that they have to control. That was, like you mentioned, Denmore was just asking to be put away. But Denmore, they are on the 17s, they are on the 15s, they are on the 19s, and I'm hoping soon that we're going to see they are on the 13s. I think that they need to find a way to play a longer version. You know, we're having problems batting 50 overs at the senior level, and so I think at the earlier level we need to see our players playing longer version of cricket.
Trying to...
Is that dissent then more? The batter appealing to the umpire saying that is a wide? Because obviously if we were to look at that delivery again, it seems quite high. and the umpires just signal one for the, but it seems very high to me.
Is it really decent, or has the game been taken into such a way that now it takes out everything from it? Kenny Benjamin, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I felt that the umpire has made a decision. They didn't call a wide, but the batter was gesticulating. He was asking. He was, his hands. You can see him asking, "Isn't that a wide?" I thought that was not needed.
Clearly, we've seen the Indian batsmen wanting to get a move on, probably thinking that, the overs are going by. We're only 140 approaching the 29th over. So we've seen a little bit more urgency in terms of their batting.
That last delivery there, Gaikwad actually stepped into Jordan.
(141) without loss at the end of over number 29. Gaikwad continues to motor towards centuries on 82. Gill is on 55. The partnership continue to grow. But what is important, Kenny Benjamin, maybe the Indians are thinking of, is the current run rate. Only 4.86, so they're still below 5, and they would probably think that they need to get it up somewhere around 6, 7 pretty soon.
The formula for big scores is a good platform and wickets in hand at the business end. The last 10 overs or so, if you have wickets in hand, I am sure this rate could be up quite easily. When boundaries start hitting, when you have wickets in hand and you can go really hard at the bowling. So I think 4.6 is par at this moment. Obviously, you're not chasing, you're setting a target, and they want to make sure when the time comes to go hard at the bowling, they have enough wickets in hand so they can take, the necessary risk.
The Indians continue to pick the runs off. And Kyrie Pierre continues to give full efforts, 100%. Really trying to keep things tight. Backing up himself, feeling well to his own bowling. Launched away over mid-wicket, 6 runs. He did something different on that occasion. He gave it flight, and the Indian batsman, his eyes lit up, and he really launched into that one and connected well. Picked up himself the maximum, 6 runs over mid-wicket.
This is what the Indians have been doing well. Every opportunity
his eyes
they
lit
get
up,
to
and he
score,
really
whether it's a
launched into
single,
that one.
whether it's a
And
loose
connected
delivery to
well.
be put away
Picked up
over the boundary.
maximum,
They
6
haven't
runs over
missed
mid-wicket.
many opportunities to score. This is what the Indians have been doing
148.
well. Every
his
opportunity
eyes
they
lit
get
up.
to calculated how they're going to play. They've executed well, and it looks to me like West Indies A will have a big chase here sometime later this afternoon.
And based on what we saw in the first match, in terms of the West Indies A batting, they wouldn't want the Indians to really get away to a total too far over 300.
And just as you were focusing on the present rate, the rate has now moved up to 5. It's 5.02. And so I'm sure the Indians will pick it up slowly. They have wickets in hand. They can go hard at the bowling. And they really can test and stretch this bowling attack by the West Indies A.
With all the bowlers except for Shepherd going over 5 per over, what options does the captain Chase have now? Does he go right back to Romare Shepherd at this time and say you're bowling tightly, you only have an economy rate of 2.2? Do you go back to Shepherd at this time and say, look, I need a couple of tight overs. I want you to come back in and give me four overs that are very tight.
Well, Rovman Powell have been known to meddle a little bit, throw his arm over, a little medium pace, a little slow ball here or there. So that is one option that Chase can turn to. You can probably ask him to have a go, see if he could prize a wicket out. You know, sometimes when two batters are going really well and you bring on what Jeffrey Boycott will refer to as lollipops, you know, every now and again you may just pick a wicket up or so. And at this moment, I'm sure Chase would give anything to see the back of one of these Indian openers. We saw some mid-wicket conferences. We saw Rakeem Cornwall. We saw Captain Chase.
Jonathan Carter was
and
also
Pierre.
in the mix of that discussion.
What do you reckon they were talking about?
You were probably talking about what's for lunch.
Or they were thinking,
what are
boy,
the options
like we're chasing 350 here this afternoon.
They've retrieved the ball, so Pierre. Oh, that was a chance for a run out, and the stump's not broken there by Dorwich. The stroke came back in. It looks as if the batsman was chasing down the wicket, and whoa, we'll have to see that one again. That could have been the little bit of spark that the West Indies A needed.
Yeah, but it definitely look a
Let's have a
chance.
look at it, Kenny.
Definitely look a run-out chance here.
Yep, looked to have been in trouble.
Because he went down the wicket, he was sent back, and then he turned back again, and he definitely was stranded. But the wicketkeeper Dowich didn't collect. Well, he collected cleanly, but he didn't. You reckon he didn't realize the batter was out of his crease?
Probably didn't realize the severity of the situation. 30 overs have gone. 150 partnership have also come up. 150 off 180 deliveries in 110 minutes. So it has brought us to that point. The partnership continues to grow between Gaikwad and Gill. 150 run partnership, 150 without loss.
Yes, the West Indies just missing an opportunity to break in that partnership. And a partnership that has now yielded some 150 runs. And I'm sure that the Indians are now getting themselves ready to launch maybe one or two of the batters down there. We will see. And we see a next bowling change with Mario Shepherd. And he's going to try for the second time to try and see if he can dislodge one of these Indian openers. Because so far, things are not looking very favorable for the West Indians. Seth?
Well, not looking favorable at all, especially if we were to do a comparative analysis in terms of what transpired at Coolidge, when at one stage they had the India A 22 for 3. This one is steered down, so Shepherd would be hoping that he could do the damage here. When he left the bowling attack early after 5 overs for 11 runs, he may have thought that someone would have come on and would have dislodged a few Indian batsmen before he got a chance to come back. But he's coming back here in the 31st over and realizing that he's still bowling at Gaikwad and Gill after 151 runs would have been scored. What would he be saying to himself as a fast bowler?
Well, certainly, you always want when you come back that you're bowling at 2 different players. You know, every time you come back as a bowler, you open the new ball, you come back some 30, 32 overs later, and you're bowling to the same batters. So you definitely know that things are going well, and you have yourself some hard work to put in.
Well, he has the stock. He is very strongly built, so should be able to live up to the expectations. Hustling the batsman a bit. Shepherd is that kind of player that you have not seen in a while around West Indies cricket. When I said that he has endured well, it reminded me of the past when you had medium fast bowlers, upper bowlers like Gavin Tongue and the name slips me from the Windwards, when they were very consistent over years. So swing the batsman. This one is angled down the leg side. So that's strength.
Oh,
Well, he's out. He's given. That one was, we thought, we missed it completely. Apologies. Looked as though it was going down the leg side, but he has been given. So the partnership has been broken here. Let's look at it. Ball pitch, he looked as though he was flicking it. The ball took the pad. The appeal went up. And Dorich and Romario Shepherd would be happy, as in the umpire's mind, he was LBW, and now Gill goes LBW to Shepherd for 62. As simple as that.
well, we're not seeing the front on. We don't have the front on image, but from where I am set, he seemed like he actually walked across, trying to play the ball to the onside. Looked fairly straight from our vantage point, and the
behind the
umpire
action.
Bradwitt, who probably was in the best position,
Yes.
judge him leg before. The batter looked somewhat surprised, but Shepherd and Dorridge was quite confident that they got their man.
Well, let's look at it. Right, actually almost looked as though it was flicked into the onside. The appeal went up by Dorich. Romario Shepherd continued the appeal, therefore umpire Brathwaite, who would have been in the best position. And so the huge partnership has been broken after 151 runs. Gill goes for 62. Shepherd, the man who looked at everything from the start, is happy that he can come in. And in walks Shreyas Iyer. And he himself will be hoping that he could continue the good run started by Gill and Gaikwad, the two Gs of the Indian opening pair, and actually do something special as he would have done at Coolidge. So good break for the West Indies.
Yes, they got the breakthrough. Shepherd will be quite happy that he came back and he got that breakthrough. So let us see how the West Indies approaches somewhere. If they try and attack, if they can turn 1 into 2, 1 into 3 maybe, or if they're just going to sit back and allow Iyer to turn the strike over and to let Gaikwad continue and what looks very dominant so far.
Yes, the enthusiasm of the West Indians would have been a bit down prior. Even in that celebration of that wicket, we didn't see much apart from between the wicket keeper and the bowler. So Captain Chase in the image there, and Shepherd would be looking for a second on stumps, but played off. And Shepherd striving for the extra pace here, Kenny.
Yes, certainly. And I just want to believe, because Shepherd bowled his balls more or less shaping away from the right hand, I just felt that that delivery, he was outdone. I believe it started maybe about
Let's look
midland
at
leg.
this. And there was it again.
It seems very adjacent, just leaning over to the onside and was struck in front.
This time the ball played short, the return comes in, and you have just lost the wicket, and it seems as though there has been some bit of anxiety on that occasion. There was no need for that attempted single. Nevertheless, the over comes to an end. There is also a wicket-keeping change, which we did not bring to you in our view. In fact, Devon Thomas has picked up. Let's look at it. The return comes in, and it just missed. He may have just gotten in about 50-50, and there is Thomas in the image as well, coming in to replace Dorich. So a moment for the West Indies in over number 31. Score at 152 for 1 over number 31, bringing the wicket as we're about to start number 32.
Yes, certainly an opportunity there. Maybe it seems very close indeed, that opportunity. And Devon Thomas.
Yes, he's a substitute. He didn't start the game, so he comes in to keep wicket.
I'm a little bit lost here. The wicket keepers as a substitute. Is it an arrangement between both?
No, I think that was regularized just after your time of playing. It was a no-no, and then I can bring some classic cases in which they agreed on that. And that has been a feature that has changed, but it doesn't happen very often in cricket.
That is something that
it's
went by
strange
me.
because you couldn't bat, you couldn't bowl, you couldn't wicket keep in the days, but that has been changed. Raheem Cornwall, he has not changed. Big man, big stature, carry pair. He's hoping that he can get some success, as Romario Shepherd did. Good bit of fielding and return. Once again, Rovman Powell. So carry pair. Not doing as well as he anticipated. The spinners not doing as well in this game. Pierre hoping that he can have some success, but meanwhile Gaikwad is looking towards a century. Dabs, oh, brilliant catch, what a catch. He was cutting at that, and there was, is it Jonathan Carter diving to his weaker hand to the right, clutching onto it. West Indies taking wicket number 2.
When we see this again, you would see that this would go down as
Look at it.
spectacular.
Goes back.
Absolutely spectacular. He was
brilliant.
in the air. He snatched it out. I picked some mangoes this morning, and it reminded me of the snatching a mango from a tree. Absolutely brilliant. And we spoke about this, huh?
So
you're going well.
Gaikwad's excellent innings are coming to an end for 85 and caught Carter off the bowling of Pierre, and during that innings he would have really put India in a very strong position, and India A, he would be happy. And in comes the new batsman, in fact Manish Pandey, the captain. So 153 for 2. Gaikwad going for 85. Here is the replay. Brilliant to his right. And Jonathan Carter on the ground, showing his press. So it's not Gaikwad. Gaikwad remains there. It's in fact Shreyas I, who came in, has departed. So Gaikwad remains. So West Indies really putting themselves. So it's Gaikwad who was gone. Gaikwad for 85, 102 balls, 5 fours and 2 lovely sixes. So it's the captain himself who has come to join Shreyas I. Goes back, looks to get off the mark. Iyer. Shreyas Iyer. And that word in local parlance, you'd say Iyer. Some people would say Irie. But it's totally different. And at the end of over number 32, the West Indies A would have seen some success in over number 31, and then in over number 32, India losing both the openers within 2 overs, and a good fight back by the West Indies A.
Certainly a good fight back, and we spoke about this. You have 2 batters going really well, and the old saying goes, get 1, get 2. And we saw the first wicket going down, and then we saw in very quick succession a second one. And so what India is facing now is 2 new batters at the crease, and so they would have to get the momentum, get accustomed to the pitch. So this should favor the West Indies.
Should favor the momentum, but nevertheless, the Indians have put up a very good first half fight. Shepherd is being driven out, caught, taken by Chase. The momentum continues. It's unbelievable stuff, as it cannot be expected at this stage that Shreyas I would have had such a dream start, now having a nightmare, being the 3rd Indian A batsman to have fallen within 3 overs. A loose drive out towards Captain Waston Chase, who took a catch and is happy, he's excited that his team is fighting back here at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds.
When I look at this dismissal, I saw Iyer looking at the pitch, maybe suggesting the ball stop, but I think what he was actually outdone with that delivery that just shaped a little bit away from him. He actually tried to play it a little bit straight, maybe it was straight mid-on, and he took the leading edge. and balloon to Captain Chase, who took a good catch above his head at mid-off. So I think that is more of him being deceived by that delivery, which we know Shepherd normally shapes the ball away from the right-hander. So all credit to Shepherd and all credit to the West Indies for getting themselves back into this game, picking up 3 quick wickets in about 6 deliveries or so, picking up
Excellent stuff.
3 wickets and giving themselves an opportunity to restrict India to maybe that huge score that at one time looked very possible.
Yes, certainly. So 3 wickets within the last 3 runs. And it looks like Hanuma Vihari comes in to replace his fellow right-hander, number 3 batsman, Shias Iyer. Romario Shepherd with 2 wickets, teams in. Greeted with a short one, fast bowler's response. Wide signal by the umpire.
That seems a little bit harsh. You can see the wicketkeeper Devon Thomas, and for those who hear my voice, yes, Devon Thomas is a wicketkeeper, and let me look at that. Let me look at that again. Yes, maybe the umpire was right.
Well, umpire Gustav picked that up at square leg, but Shepherd is back with it. Well, this is a quick single. What is going on out there? The complexion of the game has changed so much over the past 3 overs. Not only that 3 wickets have fallen, but we have also seen at least 2 possible run-out opportunities. Somehow are the Indian batsmen, after doing the excellent work, after doing the hard work, are they then putting pressure on themselves?
Well, I think that when you get a wicket, everything changes. You know, one new player comes in, so the whole communication and the whole understanding, everything changed, and that is why the game is so dynamic. But just quickly, back to what we were saying, the laws of cricket made some changes, and one of them is that if the original wicket keeper is injured, then he can be replaced with a substitute wicket keeper. And so this is why Devon Thomas is out keeping the wicket. I think Dorridge probably picked up a slight injury, so he's off. So Devon Thomas is now carrying the gloves.
Yes, Thomas, who would have featured for the West Indies in the 2009, well, in 2 World Cups ago, at the age of 19. Shepherd is yet to feature at the international level for the West Indies. He has been hitting, trying to push the door down. Good delivery. Yorker length.
3 wickets, and all of a sudden, Romario Shepherd looks like, yeah, you can't play him. You know, he's really hitting it. Look at this delivery again, right up in the block hole. These are what he's accustomed to bowling set when it comes down to the death. He's normally on cue, firing those toe crushers from that high delivery. He's about what, 6'3", 6'4"?
I'm not sure you're a better judge of height than me. This time, they're coming through for another quick one, but this one they will get rather easily and comfortably. So perhaps a bit of jitters, or they're trying to get the adrenaline flowing. So
you think it is something set where you saw three wickets, we saw a couple of run-out opportunities, you see 2 new batsmen, they're not looking settled. Is it a case that the fielders should squeeze a little tighter and not give the ones out to? On that occasion, we saw the fielders laying back a little bit and allow them an easy single.
Driven but well saved. So India declining from 150, a huge partnership of 150 between Gill and Gaikwad, to now 156 for 3 after 33 overs. How difference can 3 overs make?
Certainly, and I'm sure that now is the time that Captain Chase.
So let's look at it. Gaikwad 85, Gill 62, and then Iyer 2. And now it comes down to the captain, Pandey, and Vihari to do the repair job.
And I'm sure that the captain, Chase, is now thinking, this is an opportunity that I can get some of my bowlers in, get some overs in, because we have two new batters, because they won't be scoring that fluently. See if we can get people like Raymond Reefer to get a few overs in before the Indians decide that they're going to have a launch, because I'm sure they will be watching the scoreboard to see 17 overs remaining. They would want to get the platform to continue. So they, maybe in the next 7 or 8 overs, we will see them starting to have a go at the West Indies bowlers.
Yes, but still good batting available for the Indian A team, as we see Raymond Reefer trying to enhance his performance here. May take some lesson from what Romario Shepherd did on his return. Reefer wasn't looking sharp in his opening spell. Perhaps towards his last over we saw a few popping, but he's standing trying to work out things here. Indian captain though has other thoughts. Manish Pandey would have been an outstanding player for, in fact, even at the international level. In one-day internationals, he would have had already a century. Averages just over 36. His experience would be critical through this middle passage of the innings. In List A cricket, look at this. He has already played 141 List A matches and has 8 centuries in his grasp. And I'm going to give you a quiz. You would ask me what the highest number of List A centuries in the West Indies camp. That's a question for you to answer. And it would show you the huge difference between both teams. You ready to answer the question?
I think based from what I know, Rakim Cornwall has 4, I think. I'm not too sure. There? I'm not too sure if any one of the other West Indies players have 4, but no. I think Rakim Cornwall has about 4.
In fact, after that, the closest is Jonathan Carter with 2. So that gives you an understanding in terms of the number of games that the India A team would have played. Or in fact, their structure, their first-class structure, the teams that they have played more cricket than these West Indians. But Raymond Reefer would have been one of the West Indians out there who would have gotten the opportunity to play at the international level, and that must count. Your performance at the international level, when you step on the field with the other players, you should be head and shoulders above. You should be really leading by example, as we say. And I think he needs to step up that game. We have seen Shepherd has stepped up to the task in tough situation. We have seen Carey Peer coming in and maintaining pressure. Let's see if he can apply that pressure. Rovman Powell, another in the West Indies A-team arsenal, can apply that pressure when he bats as one who has been exposed to A-team cricket. Reefer having a long walk back. Cricket, the game of glorious uncertainty. India looked at one point, you said perhaps the West Indies may be looking to chase 350. Now that may not be the case. Quick single again, attempted return, comes in. Just missed on that occasion by Jonathan Carter. And we see these quick singles. We saw them in the earlier part of the India A-team innings, but let's look at this. The ball being played just down the backward point. Jonathan Carter picks up and in the frame. Had it hit, it would have been goodbye, Vihari.
Well, would have wanted some review. It's pretty close, but the Indian A batters, they're backing themselves. They're taking their chances. They're running the singles. We're seeing a next little conference here with umpire and Rakim Cornwall and Captain Chase and Mario Shepherd, just wondering what they're talking about.
So the board looks healthy, looked healthy at the top, 85 and 62. Then a little stutters here.
85 by Gaikwad. Gill got 62, and then we saw a little bit of a collapse there by the Indian. And so what we're seeing here is good cricket.
Very good cricket.
We spoke about the captain being laid back, but now that we have two new men in, we are now seeing slip in place. We are seeing people in the circle saving the one, squeezing the batters. And so this is exactly what was expected from Captain Chase. Not sitting back and allowing things to happen, but here he's setting the field. He wants things to happen.
Yes.
He's actually making things happen.
A wicket makes such a difference because at one stage, the West Indies looked as though they were not led. They looked very flat. There was no energy. There was no serious direction after the Indian A team reached the 100. And now we have seen, now things have sort of gotten a bit better for them with 3 wickets in 3 runs. Lovely shot, driven out towards long off for 4. Lovely shot on the up.
Again, good shot, just leaning forward, and you can see a lot of right, the top hand taking control. He didn't try to hit it too hard. He just hit through the line, and obviously, if we have a look at it again, just making sure that the left hand was in control and just helping it over mid-off, which shows to as well then he's showing some confidence in the bounce and pace of the pitch.
Any adjustment to the field because there's no long off, no long on, just deep, mid-off and mid-on. Let's see how Shepherd responds. Excellent, smart cricket by the Indian A-team captain. Just tapping that one for the single after the boundary.
Always a mark of people who are planning well. You get a boundary, you get a single, you get off strike, you're on 5 not out. Too many times we see our young players hit a 4, and all of a sudden they get into a frenzy. They want to hit 2 and they want to hit 3, rather than continue to rotate the strike.
So Shepherd has been bowling well for the West Indies A team, apart from his first 5 overs, conceding only 11 runs without a wicket. Since then, he has come on, he has taken 2, conceding 9, but still bringing the West Indies back in the game.
I tell you a little secret then, Seth. Shepherd is one of those bowlers who I felt could have gone to the ICC World Cup.
Well, I don't disagree with you. We'll come back to that. I kept saying that in the West Indies search for bowlers, they went with too many personnel who were the same. So we were looking at 3, I would call Thomas. You had O'Shane Thomas, you had Cottrell, you had Gabriel, particularly Gabriel and Thomas. They were too much of the same, didn't offer any option, whereas Cottrell did offer the swing. Romario Shepherd, he offers swing, he offers pace, and he can also bat better than any of the above. Loud appeal. He's still appealing. Well, the umpire has not responded, and the ball being picked up in the end down towards the boundary by Reefer. So that was an appeal that to me looked closer. That one was really in the area, but umpire Brathwaite had different thoughts.
Well, he gave it as runs. He gave it as runs. He didn't signal any leg by. So based on what the umpire felt, that he got a nick because he didn't signal leg by. So obviously, he thought that was runs.
But Romario Shepherd thought totally differently. He has been shouting. That appeal, in contrast to the one that was given out, was a total different shout. One was shout, one was pleading, and the other was not a shout, but was giving. So after 35, West Indies would see the Indian A slipping back at 165 for 3. Zoral Bartlett, certainly a good fight back by the West Indies.
Yeah, and I'm sure Reefer wants to continue that. Pick up on the good work of Romario Shepherd.
Now they're pressing. Ambrose.
And whilst we're enjoying the A teams here, and the other development aspect of West Indies cricket, Barbados are the West Indies Rising Stars under 17 champions.
Well, good news for the Barbadians because they have been doing well. In fact, They have actually 5 players on this A team, so continuous development.
And with regards to the player awards coming out of that series, the Barbados wicketkeeper, Lamar Bolden, 8 dismissals. And he copped the best wicketkeeper award. Most valuable player, again from Barbados, Jaden Leacock. Barbados were the second place team in the tournament. Sorry, Jaden Leacock of Barbados, of Jamaica. So just to correct that, Jamaica were actually the second place team in the tournament.
So youth development continuing in the West Indies, while the West Indies seek to build an 18 base for the test team. Wide once again.
There's Reefer, looking to be aggressive, looking to back up the good work done by Romario Shepherd in that 3-over spell. As we also keep our eyes on the ICC Cricket World Cup finals at Lord's. 242 is the target. England are 86 for 3 after 23 overs.
Deadly New Zealand, the best at defending low scores. That's a lovely shot. Will beat the chase. 4 runs, lovely shot coming forward and really stroking that. And
Captain Pandey would have been delighted to see that long half volley from outside the off stump. Stroked it past the man at extra cover. Picked up 4 runs.
giving up the chase because the ball was too quick. So Pandey, they really have a captain who can really change things around.
Quite like the attitude of Reefer in this spell. He's running in a lot more energy than he showed in his earlier spell. Success obviously does that.
Well, but perhaps he has a microphone out there as we see the drinks break coming on, because at the end of his last spell, you said he needs to show up and put in a bit more, and we have seen that. But it's Shepherd who has really led the way and led the charge in reducing India from 151 without loss to 153, and then the others adding 10 at drinks.
Shepherd came back for that second spell, having bowled 5 overs for 11 in his first spell. And that 3-over burst picked up 2 wickets for 10 runs. Came in at a time, and Captain Chase was certainly looking for some answers. Looked good. Ran in hard, full length, short aggressive at times. And I'm sure in conversation with the rest of his team, as we see the Indian team obviously recalculating their position after 36 overs. And England have lost another wicket. It's 86 for 4.
So who are you betting on, Zora?
It's going to be a good game.
It's amazing. You don't want to commit. So the Indian dressing room at this stage, we said 173 for 3. What sort of target do you think realistically they are recalibrating at this time?
I'm sure they will still be looking for 275, at least from where they are. 14 overs to go, looking to get at least another 100. As we have a look at the fall of wickets. Saw Subban Gill going across the off stump, being a judge LBW. Good catch.
Brilliant.
Brilliant catch there by Jonathan Carter at backward point. Diving away to his right. Brings a lot of energy to the fielding team, does Carter. And inspired his captain to take one, pedaling back over his head. Third wicket at a time when the West Indies ace certainly needed wickets.
Yes, they really did. And those 3 wickets coming in the space of what? 3 runs, 151, 153, and 153. So the West Indies are celebrating.
And just back to Lords. Fourth wicket to fall, 86 for 4 in the 24th over. Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan went for 9. And this is turning out to be a scrap. And we know the New Zealanders. They specialize in defending small totals.
But Joe Root is out, Bairstow is out, Roy is out, Owen Morgan, they're all back in the pavilion. So much would be up to Ben Stokes and Joss Butler.
The engine room of the attacking play that the England team has. We know if Joss Butler gets going, it could be a matter of time. But I'm sure all that confidence from bilateral series, and we keep hearing that phrase being used. It's a different scenario come a World Cup, come the knockout stages, come the World Cup finals.
And the scoreboard pressure and the crowd pressure, the expectations at home. So, question is, so it's for England to lose. It's for New Zealand to gain. In any way, we would have a new world champion. So back here at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds, we're just about to restart after the break, the refreshment break. And we see the combination of Captain Manish Pandey and Hunuma Vihari. They're about to resume. They have already accumulated 20 runs after that disastrous period in which they lost 3 wickets for 3 runs. And we see the captain, in fact it's Vihari who will be facing, and umpire Brathwaite is allowing Rakeem Cornwall to start. So Cornwall coming back after 5 overs for 29 runs. And we'll want to take wickets. We'll want to put some pressure, apply some pressure here, because this partnership is critical.
Captain Manish Pandey would be aware that his team have gone into a rut. He'll also be equally aware of the value of this type of series, these unofficial games.
Yes, that is critical to the future of himself and other players. Well,
West Indian players also are very aware of the opportunities available. Good performances in this series.
yes. Even more critical for them given their position at the end of the World Cup. So the over has been completed. 175 for 3 after 37. And Pandey and Vihari trying to rebuild after the flurry of wickets in the middle overs.
More energy in the West Indies team as they move around, getting through their overs fairly quickly. 13 overs to go. Obviously, Shepherd will come back for his final 2 overs towards the death. Captain Chase has now turned to carry pair. to continue that consolidation.
Well, Pierre played his role during that critical period when the West Indies took those those 3 wickets within those 3 overs, but he was replaced. Well, this time he has been hit over the boundary. A good shot. 6 runs. Great flow of the bat. And is this a signal of things to come?
Floated outside the off stump. Slug sleep from Vihari. Good shot.
Right up in the slot. And swung over the fence. Good shot. Confidence builder.
These young Indian players have the experience of the IPL.
Yeah.
And certainly know how quickly runs can come in the last few overs.
So a projection could well be something that the West Indies A team will be hoping falls well below the 300 mark, perhaps around 280.
Very easy action, carry Pierre. Almost gets into a position looking like a fast bowler. The way he brings that right hand up in front of the face. Nice side on. Varies his pace nicely.
So they continue to pick up these easy singles. Playing the ball deep. And see the end of over number 38. At the end of Carey Pierre's 8. It's 185 for 3. And 12 overs remaining. Pretty much a situation where the Indians are, well, rebuilding nicely, rebuilding slowly, but setting themselves up perhaps for a huge finish.
With the exception of Iyer coming at number 3, the other Indian batsmen have all had the opportunity to at least get in. We are at 15 deliveries so far. The bowling figures for the West Indies. Shepherd stands out.
Well, he has been exceptional. So, Rakeem Cornwall is yet to be in the wicket column, so it has been basically Shepherd and Pierre. See Devon Thomas moving across quickly, trying to avert the single, but could not. But Rakeem Cornwall, who would have had 1 wicket in the opening of unofficial ODI at Coolidge, striving for his second. A good delivery, better delivery. Did create a bit of a challenge for Pandey, cramped him a bit. Cornwall.
Again, the bounce that Rakeem Cornwall is renowned for, coming from a big man, a tall man. Gets a lot of bounce.
Oh, this one is swung down to Ambris, only a single. So quieting things a bit, because we're expecting or anticipating a charge maybe for the last 10. Well, this is for the charge may just be starting, and Indians are capitalizing on anything that is up in the arc, and the score pushes up to 191. Look at this, Cornwall stepping in, and now he walks away, perhaps a bit not dejected but a bit disappointed that his final delivery stepping up to the plate and really playing this one nicely out towards the boundary for 4.
I think showing the good nature of this pitch, and that was not a flighted delivery. It was a delivery pulled down by Cornwall. But Vihari was on the charge and hit through the line, and hit it one bounce for 4. Certainly a good foundation for the India team here, the India A team, 191 for 3 from 39 overs.
And clearly an excellent path, because you realize that in the opening game, they scored 190. They were bowled out for 190 within the 50 overs. Now they're 191 and 11 remain.
And we've seen today a better pitch compared to the one at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, which stopped and turned. This one has certainly been coming on with a little bit of bounce, slow bounce, but definitely a good pitch for batting.
So Jordan is back. Harry not having any challenge at all, looking rather comfortable.
With Jordan coming back and putting yourself in the shoe of a selector, a West Indies selector, you'd want to see what energy he brings to this stage of the innings, what variation he brings. If he's able to hit the bat hard. But certainly a young man with a lot of potential, good built, seems to have the basic foundation, and certainly one that the selectors are looking at.
Well, at this stage, the selectors would be looking long and hard around, because they would be seeking replacements over time and to develop. Beauty. That's a beauty.
Good signs.
Look at it.
Look at that.
Beats
Back
him.
of a length. Seaming away.
Hitting the right spots, and not only that, creating some anxiety in the Indian camp at the time when these batters are dominating the ball. Ooh, wow. Fortuitous shot. Goes to the boundary for 4. Not in control.
A shot caused by the pressure that Jordan has brought to Pandey. Wider delivery. He threw his hands at it. Inside a Chinese cut. Down to the fine leg boundary for 4. But Jordan certainly looks as if he wants to be there. He looks businesslike. Getting back to his mark quickly.
So, good response yet. Keeping it on the stumps. The good thing for the West Indies, is that after this, Jordan would have 3 more overs. And, you know, those would be well utilized, along with what Romario Shepherd has remaining. So, well, here is a chance for a run out. Cornwall shies, but misses the stumps. The batsmen getting in quickly, completing over number 40, and at the end of 40 overs, the India A team 196 for 3. After comments from you, Zoral, then Mo Roberts will join the broadcast.
A good comeback over there from Jordan. Don't think Captain Chase would be too impressed with Rakeem Cornwall there. Ball going straight to him and the batsman going off for a single. But Jordan certainly brought some energy into the West Indies effort as they try to curtail the score that this India A team will make. 10 overs to go.
With 10 overs to go and the Indians 4 runs short of 200, they probably are now looking to try and get as close as possible to 300. Raheem Cornwall is continuing. While off air, myself and Kenny Benjamin were having a discussion, and Kenny Benjamin was suggesting, and the West Indies they have done so now, that they need to decide whether or not that man who was at mid-off for Raheem Cornwall's last over when the ball was hit over his head for 4 should be back saving 1, because how deep he was on the circle, he was not even saving 1 at that stage. So what he was suggesting is that the West Indies A have to decide whether or not they're going to be saving the boundary or giving them the single and save the boundary.
I think also he was an extra man. You know, fielding restrictions allowed for that extra man to be out of the circle, and he was in the circle at the time.
So the Indians continue. They lost 3 quick wickets at a stage when they looked as if they were going to run away with it. But still, they've only lost 3 wickets. And so the 200 has come up for India. 200 in 250 deliveries in 158 minutes, 13 fours and 4 sixes.
The middle order of the India A team certainly benefiting from the good foundation laid by Gaikwad and Gill at the start of the innings. Certainly put them into a good position. They're now looking to build on that with 9 overs to go. But again, with a better understanding of ODI cricket these days, 9 overs does not necessarily mean helter-skelter. Calculated hitting, targeted batting. And these days, 9 overs can easily give you 100 plus, especially with.
And especially if you have the scoreboard ticking over, Zoral. If you're getting the regular singles, an odd boundary here or there can easily get you 10 runs per over.
Impressed with the way Jordan has come back. Look at him go back to his mark. Full of energy, ready for business. Good signs. It is what you want to see from your young players coming into international cricket and bringing that energy with them, looking to uplift their team.
Looking as if you want to play. And he does certainly look as if he's in with it. And it's easy that he could have gotten a little bit downhearted. The Indians got off to a very big start, but he has not lost his focus, has not lost his energy. Very good feeling there, and that's the kind of support that the bowler, when somebody like Jordan, given the effort that he's given, running in, bowling hard, he wants fielders to back him up, just like what Jonathan Carter did on that occasion.
And what Jonathan Carter consistently does. Run rate 4.87, a partnership of 49.
So they get the 50 partnership, and a 50 partnership of 57 deliveries in 38 minutes, something that the Indians needed at this stage of their innings, losing 3 quick wickets, but then needing to rebuild and getting a 50 partnership between Pandey and Vihari.
And some rebuilding also. 59 deliveries, the 50 partnership. I think in Jordan, a slow delivery, wide of the crease, well bowled.
So the end of another over, 204 for 3. Pandey on 25, Vihari on 22. A partnership of 51 runs so far. The current run rate still hovers around 4.86 or so per over, but you would tend to think that for the final 8 overs or so, the India team would want to get that up closer to 6-7 mark.
The question now for Captain Chase is, does he bowl Jordan out, having come back so impressively with those 2 late order overs? Or does he keep him for the final 4 or 5 overs? I think with the experience of Reefer in the team, and certainly Shepherd with that slingy action and low full tosses, Yorkers later in the innings, I think he has the luxury of probably bowling Jordan right through.
Certainly he has that option, and I think that it would be a good option to take at this stage because Jordan is certainly in a good rhythm. He's bowling well, and you would hope that he can steal in 2 good overs towards the end. The Indians are coming back for the second run. Again, they get it easily in the end. The feeling there coming from the feeling Raymond Reefer just a little bit slow off the mark, giving the Indian batsman an opportunity to come back for a second run when it looked like if it was just going to be a single.
Cornwall looking to not put too much pace on his deliveries.
And he's come back well, Cornwall, because his first 3 overs went for 21 runs. And he's bowled him. Good delivery from Cornwall. Pandey was trying to force the issue, trying to drive that delivery, and his stumps are knocked out. Good delivery from Cornwall.
If ever someone earned a wicket, you'd certainly say that was a wicket well earned by Rakeem Cornwall.
Just walking in, and the ball probably coming off the inner portion of the bat and crashing into the stumps of the Indian captain, Manish Pandey.
I think it was the arm ball. It might have been pitched about center stump and probably hitting off. You saw the fingers come across it. Well bowled there by Rakeem Cornwall. Certainly think he outdid Captain Manish Pandey on that one. And he'd be very pleased. Let's have a look at it again. Probably pitching center and off and hitting more off. Good delivery. Drifting away from him. It was bowled at good pace. Couldn't get under it. And having been frustrated by not scoring from the previous 2 deliveries, he tried to hit it inside out. Missed the outside edge and was bowled. Well bowled, Rakeem Cornwall. 206 for 4.
And I was talking about the comeback for Rakeem Cornwall because his first 3 overs went for 21 runs. And so the in 5.4 overs, he's now gone for just about 22 more runs. So he's had a good comeback in terms of his bowling because the Indians were looking to get after him pretty early in his spell. But he's also had a comeback, as had the West Indies A team. The Indians are now 206 for 4. And Kishan is a new batsman coming in. Ishan Kishan, the new batter who has come out to join Vihari. And again, they're going to have to do some repair work for the Indian team. But a left and right hand combination with the new batter, Ishan Kishan, coming out to join Vihari.
Wicket keepers around world cricket, very dodgy. We saw Alex Carey in the semi-finals versus England, injured but soldiered on. Certainly made a good impression for himself, Carey, coming out of the World Cup. I'm sure Kishan has similar ideas with his developing career. Good over there from Rakeem Cornwall. Finished well. Conceded 3 runs, picked up 1 wicket. 9 overs, 1 for 44. I'm sure the big man would be pleased with how he has come back into his work.
Would have been pleased because, like I said, the first 3 overs, he was hit about. He went for 7 per over in his first 3, went for 21 runs, and now has gone 9 overs for 44 runs, which is a very good comeback on his behalf. Let's just give you the scorecard. So we see 85 there coming at the top from Gaikwad and 62 and Gill, and they put on that opening partnership for the Indian team. Shepherd continues to be the pick of the bowlers for the West Indies with his 2 wickets for 21 runs. Hakeem Jordan trying to work up some pace there.
Signal the wide, but not disappointed. This young man has come back in this spell and certainly looking to put in the work, running in there. As we look at that dismissal again from Rakeem Cornwall, well bowled, beautiful arm ball. Pitched on centre and off, hit off.
Good bowling this by Jordan. That one touched down just outside the line of the off stump, and with his natural in swing, that one carried away from the left-handed batsman. He was just looking to run it down to third man and beating him and through to wicketkeeper Devon Thomas, who's behind the stumps.
Good rhythm, running down the pitch a little bit, wanting to probably get off as soon as possible for the umpires. Doesn't want to come under the microscope of the umpires for running on the pitch. But certainly doing a lot of good things in this spell. Did a lot of good things in the first game and also in his first spell. I'm sure when fellow fast bowler Kenneth Benjamin comes back, he'll be able to discuss the attributes that he has seen from this young man. Just look at him, soldiering back to his mark. Tall and upright, means business. He's looking for the ball. That's what I'm talking about, back of a length. All business there for Jordan. That's what you want to see. There he was, running on the wicket, following through, not getting off in time. Obviously something to work with, something to learn. Variation, slow delivery, but still that concern going down the wicket. Obviously, umpire not taking notice at this time, but a thinking fast bowler, a young man with a big future, all in front of him. Obviously, being identified by the selectors.
Opportunity for a wicket. Good catch taken in the end by Devon Thomas. Getting there, having to make the ground. He bellowed for it, got Jordan out of the way, took the opportunity and took a smart catch.
Good catch by Devon Thomas, always one for the theatre. Certainly made it look a little more difficult to the end. got under it. It was moving away from him, had to dive forward. Good catch. Well done, Devon Thomas. Well bowled, Jordan.
Well bowled Jordan, and his inspired spell is what really brought about this wicket of Vihari, because he's bowled well, has put some pressure on Vihari, has stopped the scoring, and it has caused Vihari to take a risk.
But also sitting at the other end, Vihari would have noticed how he hit the splice, how he, from back of a length, he had that previous delivery to Kishan, making height. So even though he was looking to attack, still aware that Jordan can get the ball to bounce at good pace. So at the end of 44 overs, it's 211 for 5. The Indians been derailed slightly.
So Cornwall is going to bowl out. 44 runs so far from his 9 overs.
An opportunity to get in a cheap over with 2 new batsmen at the crease.
Starts well. So he'll want to try and score as little runs as possible. Try to keep Aksa Patel, who has come out to join Ishan. And again, Devon Thomas having to run quite a few yards to make that catch. It wasn't as easy as you might have thought, Zoral, because he had to make up all of 40 yards. And he had to first of all, get Jordan out of the way. And that he did.
Another dot ball, 3 in a row. Looking to get a cheap over out of the way.
And Cornwall gets through his overs pretty quickly. He's quickly back to his mark and always ready to come once again. So 4 dot balls so far in this over. At this stage, crucial. There's an opportunity for a run out. Cornwall just dropping the ball at that crucial moment. The throw came back to him. The ball just dropping from his grasp. I thought that the batsman would have been run out had he taken that one cleanly. We'll have a look at it again.
He should have been. He was on the side of the stumps. And I think he was looking to hit the stumps before he had the ball.
Yep.
There we go. Good feeling from Jordan.
Just a single from the over. 212 for 5 at the end of 45. And this represents a comeback from the West Indies.
A good cheap over. 1 run from the over. Should have had the wicket of Patel there run out. But the West Indies A would be pleased heading into the last 5 overs with the score only 212 for 5.
Jordan, 24-year-old fast bowler Denmore. Looks promising. Good mechanics. He hits his areas very hard indeed. And he do get some lateral movement. Just looking at the way he grips the ball, Denmore, very peculiar indeed.
Dropped. That might have been a drop catch there at that point position. We'll have to look at it again. It was a sharp chance. But again, Jordan just on or about that off stump of that left-hander. Ball struck hard.
One that you would want to stick, Denmore. Hit really hard indeed. And these are the catches that you hope stick. Good effort though. Saving some runs because there was no man behind of him on the offside. And had that had gone past without him touching it, it certainly would have been 4.
This time he's going to get a boundary out to deep backward square. Don't want those kind of deliveries at this stage of the innings from Jordan. You would want to be bowling full and straight. He was strained and short and put away by Kishan.
Yes, a bit of a very contrasting to the previous delivery, which was short and outside the off stump. On this occasion, that was short and on the onside and given the treatment. But he has shown good composure, Jordan. He had shown good variety as well. We saw him bowling a couple of slow balls and so he seems like he's a thinking player.
Driven. Good stop at the mid-off region. Carry pair. That man that we talk about his feeling. Providing the support once again for the bowler.
Certainly a drop catch there.
We could see it again, then we'll tell you probably why he would have put it down. Four. Went in the air and it was wide of carry pair and he picked up another boundary.
Good shot again, hitting straight. Never any fielder behind the bowler. And carry pair, valiant effort, but it was just enough. Got enough on it to get it away from him. And even though he gave it 100%, it was just never going to be in his grasp. So a good shot, a good place to hit, and it seemed like the Indians are starting to have a go.
.224 for 5 at the end of over number 46.
With 4 overs to go, the Indians will be a little bit disappointed because the start that they had at one time, we were looking at the area of about 300. Still some 24 balls remaining, and with just 5 wickets down, I'm sure that they're still looking at over 250.
Yeah, when we look at the batting card, Gaikwad and Gill at the top with 85 and 62. Then 27 and 23 from Pandey and Vihari. So the Indians would have fallen away a little bit towards the end.
And Pandey and Vihari, they had starts as well, but they didn't carry on. And again, you'll have a look at the bowling.
Jordan and Shepherd. Jordan getting 1 wicket, but Shepherd coming back with those 2 quick wickets in the middle of the innings. They are really making a difference in terms of the Indians running away with the score, or now at a more conservative 224 for 5.
Raheem Cornwall, he has completed his quarter 10 overs, and he picked up a wicket for 45 runs. So he's been economical. The other bowler who has completed his quarter, I think, is Jordan. He has also completed his 10 overs, and he's picked up a wicket for 56.
The Indians are a little bit looser now. They're trying to have a go. We're in the final 5 overs of the innings, and they're trying to get as many runs as possible.
Shepard, I'm sure, will be featured in these final 4 overs. He normally gets it right up to the batter, nice and full. So we'll see how effective he is. We saw him early on in the season, then more playing for the Guyana Jaguars in the Super 50. That's the West Indies regional 50 over competition, and he was very effective, especially in the last couple of overs where he bowls that Yorker and he mixes it up with the variation of slow ball here or there. So we'll see if he's featured and how effective he is.
I think that could be one of the reasons why Captain Chase had kept him back with those final 2 overs, having somebody to go to towards the end that he knows he can count on to be effective. Reefer too has been pretty good so far in this over. He's tried to take the ball right up Yorker length, and he's aiming for that line outside the off stump, that line that the umpire uses as the guide for the wide line, not giving the Indians too much to work with.
What he's doing very good here, Denmo, he's bowling to the men protecting the boundary. He's bowling full, he's bowling wide. So basically he brings Romario Shepherd, who is on the point boundary, and he's bringing that third man, I think is Ambrose. So they're the ones who have to stay alert. The length and the line he's bowling, they're going to get a lot of work to do.
Again, we see the Indian batsman just trying to hit over the top, not timing it well. Falling just short of Ambrose coming off of that third man boundary. And you just spoke about Kenny Benjamin, him being alert in that location. He just seemingly just a little bit slow off the mark, and in the end didn't make a catch of it.
Certainly a good effort, though. Not very easy to pick up the flight of that delivery. And if we watch it again, see the batsman attempting to play it away on the offside. He just peeled off the edge there. Not really carrying a good effort, though, then more. But, and again, good bowling there by Raymond Reefer.
Yeah, good bowling by Reefer. Good effort by Ambrose in the end. And what he did effectively, too, is that he was able to stop the ball. Even though he didn't make a catch of it, he stopped the ball, and so it limited the batsman just to that run. 2:30 for 5 after 47. Chase having a chat with Romario Shepherd, who is brought back for 2. Shepherd is going to have 2 of the final 3 overs to go in the innings, as predicted. And Chase just having a chat with him and just indicating to him what he wants him to do. He's going to expect that Shepherd is going to bowl some of those full Yorker length deliveries that he's known for, especially at the depth of the innings. Shepherd just making sure that he has the fielders in the right places. He's asking for the man at the deep cover to come up inside the circle, and he wants the man who was at mid-off to go back to a long off position. So
The West Indies A wouldn't mind that at all. Singles down the ground. Shepherd starting well.
And I think Shepard knew what he wanted to bowl there. So that is why he was indicating to the captain, I don't want the man on the extra cover boundary, but I want him at the mid-off because I'm going to be bowling full and straight and encouraging the batsman to drive straight down the ground. Just missing that line outside the line of the off stump, given wide by the umpire. The captain, though, has decided that he still wants that man down at deep cover on the boundary. Yep, just outside of that line for that wide line. But you can see what Shepard is trying to do. Slower delivery there on that occasion, just rolling his wrist over that one and taking all the pace off of that delivery there, Kenny Benjamin. So he's showing variety.
Good variety, but I am backing the captain. If he's bowling that good off stump line, which it is, I would want that man protecting that boundary. You wouldn't so need the fine leg.
Another wide outside the line of the off stump. Just aiming for that line, but just pushing it a little bit too much across the batter.
And that was a wide.
Very wide.
Definitely
very wide.
cutting the return crease as well. Romare need to get that radar working. That is good bowling, though. Then, even though we saw him bowl a few wides, yes, I think that the captain can understand. But when he gets it on line, it is full, and there's no opportunity for the batsman to get under it and hit it over the boundary. They're hitting it hard, but they're hitting it down the ground straight to the fielder.
And that's where that man that you were talking about down on that cover boundary coming into play, where he's trying to go across and that the ball that peels off the bat that goes down towards the boundary. So it was a good, strong move by Chase to insist that he wants the man down there and instead brought up the fine leg.
Exactly that one peeling off the outside edge.
So he gets a boundary as the effort down there. The fielder coming around, just not getting there.
Not good feeling there at all by Raymond Riffer. We would have wanted to see a bigger effort, knowing it's the final over. But if we have a look at it again, just going wide of the man at the extra cover there, and the effort by Raymond Riffer could have been a little better, could have saved a couple of runs.
Got there,
and
really you
just,
expected him.
Just messed it up.
Yep, you expected him, having gotten there, that he would have really flicked that one back and saved a couple of runs. Struck away in the air and catch taken. So finds Ambrose out on the long on boundary. He was trying to clear the fielder and the catch is taken. India losing their 6th wicket. They're now 240 for 6.
If we were to watch that again, you would see that it was a slow delivery and the batsman was waiting on it. Patel waited on slow delivery and he waited on it, didn't really time it, and he got it only as far as Ambrose on the wide long on boundary. You took a simple catch. And so a good over there bowled by Shepard, but just for that one ball, then more, he went around the wicket, and I was wondering what was he thinking. He's been bowling well, bowling over the wicket. He went around the wicket, he gave away a boundary, then he went back over the wicket, and he got a wicket. What was going through his mind?
Kenny Benjamin.
Was it a setup?
It's probably just to change. It's a mental game, and probably just to change the thinking of the batsman as the over goes on. Bowlers try things. 48 overs gone, 240 for 6. So we have Deepak Shah, who was coming to join Ishan Kishan, and Ishan has not really gotten off. He's faced 14 deliveries and he's made 17 runs. He's been there for 26 minutes. So Deepak Shah has come in to join him. He's hoping
Testing out his new shoes, maybe.
just making sure that he's ready. Reefer would want to finish well. It's at 43 runs so far from his 8.1 overs. And this will be his final over. There you can see it was really a slow delivery, and he was trying to clear that man at that long on position. And Ambrose, who would have missed a catch the over previously, did well. Big hit, straight back over the top of the bowler, 6 runs.
Missed his length there, Raymond Reefer. The previous over, we saw him bowling full. We saw him bowling wide. And on this occasion, that one was in the slot. If you look again, you see straight in the slot and got the treatment that he deserved. And I think he would have preferred to go back to that.
This time just cramping the batsman for room as he was just thinking. Again, not too much pace on those deliveries by Raymond Reefer. And you tend to think that towards the end, bowlers take a lot of the pace off of the deliveries. Would India be disappointed with the start that they got at 248 for 6?
Certainly, I think they would. I believe even us here in commentary felt that they would have been looking somewhere close to 300 or just over 300. But we have to give some credit as well to the West Indies A team and the leadership. They came back well when wickets fell. You see the captain bringing in men to attack, and it created some pressure. And so India had what we would call a major collapse when we saw 3 wickets falling for 3 runs. And I believe that was where we saw the difference in the score.
So he's out caught. Hit it straight to the captain Chase, standing at extra cover. He took a smart catch, and the wicket has fallen of Ishan Kishan. Caught Chase off Reefer for 24, and India continue to slide. They're now 249 for 7.
Yes, Ishan Kishan stood his ground there, just waiting for confirmation. As you watch it again, he took it just above his shoelace. So a good catch. And once he had said, yes, I caught it, Ishan Kishan walked slowly back. It was a good catch. And India lost another wicket. And then more, what seems at sometimes like 300 for India. Looks to me that they'll be very lucky if they could manage to score 260.
Yes, they look to have lost their way, the Indians. And so with just one delivery left in the 49th over, and they're 249 for 7. And with 2 new batsmen at the crease in Deepak and Rahul Shah, who has just come out to join him, the Indians would be lucky if they get anything past 260. The West Indies here wouldn't mind that single at the end of over number 49. 250 runs have come up of 301 deliveries in 197 minutes, 16 fours and 5 sixes.
Yes, 250. It represents, though, that Denmark a decent score. We spoke about the field being bigger, and we saw the West Indies A struggle to chase 190.
And I think in the middle of the Indian batting, those scores of 27, 23, 24, those scores suggest that the middle order didn't get going as did the top order, where we had 85 and 62 coming from Gaikwad and Gill. I think that was the difference right there in that middle order, where the batters who come in the middle, who were expected to make runs in Ayer, Pandey and Vihari, those three were not as effective today.
Romario Shepherd will bowl the 50th over for the West Indies A, and obviously he would want to finish well.
That would have been gone had he hit at the non-striker's end. Chase had a throw at the stumps there, and the batsman looked to have been struggling, trying to steal a single. Would have been clearly a run out. We look at it. Chase picked it up.
It was one of those where you just hope that it missed.
Yep.
He
would
was
have been
nowhere
gone.
in the frame.
Yeah, would have been gone.
Nowhere in the frame.
This one is high in the air. Catch taken. Good catch by Sonny Lambris on the boundary. Looked as if it was going to clear him, but he was standing there, judged it well, took a clean catch, and that's the end of Deepak Shah. Caught Ambris of Shepherd for 2. India now 251 for 8.
He made it look simple, but it was a good catch, because even though the ball was really high in the air, he was very, very close to the ropes, and he took it, and he had to look to make sure his foot wasn't touching, and he held his balance well. If we watch it again, he was very, very high. At one point, you thought he was going to go over his head. He was very, very close to the ropes. Oh! When he took it, he was so close to the rope, but well, there is no review, but it looks very close indeed. Here is it. He took it, and he was actually, it looks on the rope. It looks 6 runs.
Yep. And here's a direct hit. There's an appeal. Umpire giving it not out. When the Indians see that replay of that last dismissal, they would be very disappointed not being given.
That delivery that was out caught by Ambrose, it was hit against the wind. Then more, it seems like the Indians haven't worked out that the wind was going the other direction. We haven't seen them trying to go with the wind like normally a lot of people would do.
We'll come back to that direct hit in just a short while, but just singles in the final over. So he picked it up cleanly. Had a throw. Looked as if would have been tight, but the batsman might have just been home as we looked at it.
Ravman Powell there, then we're putting his hand up, probably thinking that they already taking a single, didn't really make that effort that we normally would see from him to try and take that catcher. So the lackadaisical effort there, then one probably not sure what was he thinking about.
Not certain what happened there. It wasn't really an effort. So the end of the innings for the Indian team, they would have ended on 255 for 8, with Shah not out, Rahul Shah not out on 4, and Ahmed, who is not out on 2. The Indians, after getting a good start, would have faded away towards the end and ending on 255 for 8.
Romario Shepherd would have ended very well. He bowled 10 overs and he picked up 4 for 36. Very economical, and also was among the wickets.
Yeah, he would have made a difference because he came and got 2 quick wickets and made a difference for the West Indies team.
We will have a look at the innings highlights.
So the highlights. So we saw that the Indians getting off to a good start and putting on a good partnership at the start of the innings. And
And the way they started, then more, you could see that they were very skeptical, maybe not too sure about what would happen with the pitch. So they started slow, and eventually they got into it. They picked the pace up, and it was a very good opening partnership put on by the Indian A batsmen.
yes, they did put on a good partnership, the Indian. So we'll see the wickets as they fell for the Indian A team. So
The first wicket was a leg
A leg
before.
before.
Looked pretty plumb.
then a brilliant catch there by Jonathan Carter, making a difference there because Carter,
And then
And
three
then-
three runs later, the third
Yep.
wicket fell.
yep,
So the Indians, they were losing wickets quickly, and the West Indians were coming back into the game.
Rakeem Cornwall getting that wicket there, bowling the batsman just when the Indians were looking to push on.
And even though a couple in the middle got stars, they never really got in. And so wickets kept falling, and the West Indians clawed their way back into the game.
They were backed up by good catching in the outfield by Sonny Lambris and, of course, by Captain Ruston Chase.
And so when you would expect to see a flurry down at the end, we continue to see wickets falling without too many boundaries being hit.
Maybe here, this was an unfortunate one. That his feet was on the ropes, but he also took it. So the target is 256 in 50 overs required by the West Indies A team. We're going to take a break from coverage, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes or so for more coverage. Join us back at 1:38.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Welcome back to Antigua, where 365 beaches await you. A lot of fun can be had watching the sunset, jet skiing, enjoying water sports at your leisure. The second unofficial ODI, West Indies A versus India A, live from the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, North Sound, Antigua. The West Indies openers walk out. With a target of 256. India A scored 255 for 8 of their 50 overs. And we will see how Sunil Ambrose and John Campbell, the West Indies A openers, how they will approach the target. After the first game, where the West Indies team didn't chase well, a target of 190. 256 is the target today. Sunil Ambrose coming back from the World Cup, went to the World Cup as a replacement player. Would certainly love to make a statement here today. Had an unfortunate decision on the first game. John Campbell went off to Ireland with the West Indies team, had a big 100. Campbell will be facing Sunil Ambrose, his partner. In the scorecard of 250 for 8. Gaikwad, 85 from 102 balls. Subhan Gill, 62 from 83 balls. The standout bowler for the West Indies A was Romano Shepherd, 4 for 36, very impressive. It all starts here. The India A team are one game ahead, having won the first ODI. Seth, what is your impression of this chase?
Well, we're looking forward to an exciting as Deepak Chahar will be starting out with his right arm medium fast swing bowling. I think he was very effective in the first game, so we're expecting a good start. False start. So we're still yet to start. Umpire Gregory Brathwaite indicating dead ball. Interestingly, Zorel, they will be starting with 2 slips, getting it started with close catches, which is critical. Yes, in the opening power play, they have chosen to have 6 on the offside, which is critical. So, and the change that the Indian A side they would have made to their bowling lineup may well be critical here. Good challenge for the West Indies. Well, they're off to a start. Campbell getting the opening run, gets off the mark. It would be interesting to see how they approach it. Just over 5 runs over.
On a good pitch, like we saw when the India A team batted. Not a quick pitch, not a lot of bounce, but an even pitch.
But the mindset could also be the issue. Even though it was a tougher pitch at Coolidge, they fell short by 65 runs, chasing 191 for victory.
And Captain Manish Pandey would have started with 2 slips, obviously remembering that the West Indies A got off to a relatively bad start in the first game.
Ambis, he would really like to get things going because he fell, unfortunately, LBW in his first game and didn't trouble the score. At least he has gotten a ball in the middle of the bat. But he would want a long bat here, John Campbell as well. especially both who would have had the international exposure. Is that a ploy outside the off stump? Keeping that busy with the two slips waiting.
6-3, offside dominant field. Ball angling away. He's bowling from the southern end, the Sir Andy Roberts end. With the breeze coming across him from his right shoulder to his left, aiding that away movement.
Wow, just to the right of second slip, into the boundary for 4. Could have been with a third slip a possible catch. Not in control on that occasion. 4 runs nevertheless to Ambis. He gets off the mark.
Didn't seem far from the man at second slip. He seemed to pick it up late. Didn't really go for the catch. But seemed to pass not too far away from him.
Down to third.
Fortunate start for Sunil Ambris.
At the end of the day, Shahar would be hoping that at least something can go his way, because it could have been 1 for 1. Ambis a bit cramped on that occasion, been a bit tentative.
Ambris is not a fluid mover, at least until he gets into an innings. Tends to use the arms a lot. Not great foot movement, but pushing the arms to the ball like we saw there.
Pretty close to the stumps.
Opening up a gap between bat and pad.
So a long way to go for West Indies A. 255 could be quite a bit. This time he cuts, but out to wide third man. He's able to rotate the strike, but in fact he will face, because it's the end of the first over. West Indies a 6 without loss, chasing 256 for victory.
I think Ahmed is going to start from this end. Ahmed had a very impressive outing in the first unofficial ODI. Picked up 3 wickets, left arm over, angling it across the West Indies batsmen. Remember him picking up Austin Chase and Shane Dowich. The delivery is just back of a length, angling across. I'm sure he'll be looking to repeat that here today.
Different conditions.
It is different conditions, but hope that the West Indies batsmen are up to it, that they show some mettle, that they bat properly.
We would have seen, you did mention the left armour for the West Indies in Reefer coming from the Sir Curtly Ambrose end, the northern end here. But with the breeze blowing across, perhaps the preference could have been from the Sir Andy Roberts end, the southern end. But it may well work as Ahmed prepares to start from this end. Ambis a bit cocked, not in full command. Ball, in fact, into his body and just basically playing it to the short backward of square position, not with conviction.
Has tended to get himself in problems against a short delivery because his first movement tends to be pushing the left foot down center stump. And so usually he doesn't have that balance of either being fully forward or fully back. So with short deliveries, he tends to always be on the move. Here's Campbell, a player who, if he can build on the start he had against England when he made his international debut early in the year, should be pushing to cement his place in the West Indies team. And hopefully in all formats.
But as you mentioned, cementing as an opener, Well, I guess Chris Gayle may be on the exit. So perhaps that's a possible option for the West Indies selectors. But Ahmed would test him. Brilliant shot, that's 4. Lovely shot. He made that look so easy.
Lovely shot. High volley outside the off stump, moving away. Ahmed looking to go towards slip, looking to get the ball to angle in at delivery and slanting away. But Campbell got out to it. Lovely square drive.
Let's look at it.
Just waited on it, played it under his eye, and played it late.
So he's off to, he'll be more comfortable than at the start of the first game. Elects to leave this one alone.
Looked really good in the first game, I thought. Looked totally relaxed. Looked in a different class until he tried to pull a short delivery on a pitch which was two-paced and under-edged it into his stumps. But certainly someone with an attacking mindset. Very crisp stroke play. Someone who has come through West Indies cricket at all age group levels.
One leaves the left-handed batsman pretty close to the wide line. Campbell seems measured. The Indian slip cord and is waiting because at least there are 2. Look at this one. Pretty close to him, but it left him late.
Good bounce.
Yes.
Ahmed certainly impressed us in the first game. Looks in good with him here again today. Running away from the Sir Curtly Ambrose end.
Beaten by beauty, he's walking. He goes, the first wicket goes down for the West Indies. John Campbell caught behind off the bowling of Ahmed only in this situation for 5 runs with the West Indies really up against it at the start. Ahmed in good stride.
Again, Campbell defeated on the inside edge. Back of a length. The bat was coming across it. Angled bat, took the inside edge, dying slowly. And dying to the right-hand side of wicketkeeper Kishan. Came up with a good catch. A good breakthrough here for the India A team. Because it was expected that John Campbell, the West Indies senior player, was going to lead this challenge. He was going to lead the charge. Unfortunately, but he's gone back to the pavilion.
He's walking away being disappointed.
Second game that he's been out of the inside edge. Inside edge bowled in the first game. Inside edge caught behind in this game.
And the West Indies camp would not be happy. But the replacement comes out and Reefer has been promoted. Batted at number 7 in the first game. Now he has been brought into the number 3 position. Perhaps there has been some reconstruction of the order following that dismal failure in the first game for the West Indies.
But we also saw Shane Dulwich go off injured when the West Indies fielded, and he batted at number 3 in the first game.
So India A over the West Indies here. 2 overs been completed and the West Indies A are 11 for 1. With John Campbell back in the pavilion, and now it would be his opening partner Sunil Ambrose to battle along with Reefer. Ball shaping away. Pressure would be on Ambrose. He knows it. He's looking down because much is expected of the opening pair. They are the 2 senior players or more current players in the West Indies international team.
I'm seeing a difference in the approach of John Campbell, different from what we saw when he played against England.
Works it off the pads. But only a single, and that will give Reefer the opportunity to face.
What we saw against England was a very robust John Campbell, looking to attack everything. And for some reason, he seemed to have gone away, thought about his game, and wanting to be more calm about the start of his innings. We've seen it in the start of the first game. We saw it again here today. Looking very casual, very relaxed. It hasn't been converted into score. So let's hope it's a work in progress. And that it is something that he's managing, something that he's handling, something he's working on.
Shahar also searching for that line just outside the off stump. And that may have been part of the ploy. In fact, it was part of the ploy in the game at Coolidge. And now they're working on that. So Shahar would be cognizant of that approach. Himself and Ahmed had the West Indies A back. Look at this delivery just outside the off stump. He was leaving it though. May have been induced. Still 12 for 1.
Getting the deliveries to pitch and curl back. Pitched outside off stump, but by the time wicketkeeper took it, it was about center stump, curling back nicely.
So one left-hander out, one left-hander in. They also had the option, because Jonathan Carter, who did try to stabilize the middle, is also a left-hander, one with quite a bit of international experience, but a golden opportunity for Raymond Reefer.
Good rhythm by Charlo. I'm sure he'd want to keep Reefer playing. Unaccustomed to facing the new ball Reefer, more low order batsman, being elevated in today's chase.
There is an air of confidence about this India A bowling lineup, because when the team scored only 190, we thought West Indies A would have been all over them. Again outside the off stump and curling back. Good over from Chahar, 12 for 1. And West Indies A really find themselves struggling at the start of the innings after 3 overs, 12 for 1.
Good over there from Charlo. Looks more like a swing bowler. We've seen the early dismissal there of Campbell, caught Kishan, bowl Ahmed for 5. We'll probably see where Dowich fits in with his injury. We don't know the extent of it, but we'll see his name slipping further down the order as the innings go on. Now we're back with the impressive Ahmed, having picked up 3 wickets in the first game and picking up 1 in his first over here today.
This works this in the deep. This seems comfortable working the ball off the pads. You did mention likes to go down, take the front foot forward, and working on the onside. But it would be interesting to see how he survives against Ahmed, because the left arm swing moving away from him. Raymond Reefer as the left-hander, perhaps the idea is that he may well be a good foil for Ambrose. Wow, moving away as well. Reefer did not play, but some bounce on that one. Slip cord and looking hungry. And Ahmed really proving his way. Just 21 years old. So look at this. Pitch just outside and then coming in, and then the away movement as it passes the batsman. Excellent bowling. He has already 8 ODIs in his arsenal, 29 List A matches. Clear target outside the off stump. The issue about fast bowling and medium fast bowling. It's just not always pace and change of pace, but the discipline and the accuracy of maintaining a certain line and being consistent. And I think that is what Ahmed has used against the West Indies A. And now he's finding success in this, the second game, after the success, the match-winning success in the first. Another spectacular delivery. Do you think that Arifa is a bit unsettled, or is it that maybe coming in, let's look at this delivery again. Once again, a beauty. Amazing bowling.
His bowling is delivering from the middle of the crease, angling the ball into the left-hander, natural angle. But on pitching, it's seaming away. Obviously, good wrist position, hitting the seam.
Because Arifa remains tapping hard on the crease, not drawing forward, not moving. This time he drives the 4 runs. He will get 4, opening the face of the bat and splitting the man at backward point and the man at cover, and gets off the mark in fine fashion.
That will give Arifa
Good decisive movement. This time, one coming into him, defends well. Over number 4 has been completed. West Indies A going at just over 4 runs per over, 17 for 1. Arifa on 4 and Ambis on 8. So there is much to play for, as India A already established to lead in this 5-match series. Convincing, huge victory at Coolidge, and now posting 255 for 8 from their 50 overs, setting a challenging task. West Indies a 17 for 1, losing Campbell for 5, and these two have got to try to repair that. They would need a good partnership to get the West Indies confidence level up. So Chahar, good away movement.
Deepak Chawla getting into his work. Good workman-like run-up, busy action, not a tall man, but certainly plenty effort. Touching down just outside off stump and curling away, moving away for wicketkeeper Ishan to take, moving away to his right. Looking to kiss the deck more or less rather than hitting the deck. Looking to extract whatever movement there is. And if it doesn't happen in the air, then he's looking to pick it up off the pitch. Looking to seam it away.
Well, Chahar has had the opportunity of representing India in at least one ODI and one T20 international. So he has gotten his at least reward thus far, but would like more opportunities. Coming into this tour, 32 List A games. Pretty much some experience behind him.
Didn't think that that delivery was quite short enough for the shot attempted there by Ambrose.
Well, I guess the India A fielders believe that as the players were walking back, they had an opportunity, but also he has to look for the possibility of the pitch keeping a bit low. We have had really quite a bit of sunshine all day. Pitch has been a flat pitch, Sometimes the potential for it keeping low. Shahar. Amber swings this one out to long on, but it will not go into the boundary. Perhaps he didn't follow through with enough timing. He did have a lot of backhand in the stroke, but not really following through with timing and power.
Went through the line of the ball, hit it over mid-on. Didn't have much pace to work with. Picked up 2 runs.
So his ploy, Ambis, they were able to get 1. Then they were coming back for the second in the end. Ambis getting his 2 to move to double figures. Shahar has other things in mind. He cuts, flies in fact, beating the fielder. The ball flew down to third man in a flash. And the fielder was just at the edge of the boundary and the ball came off his hands and then his thighs into the boundary. Ambis gets a 4.
Don't think Deepak would be too pleased with that effort by the man down at third man. Now with Captain Pandey. Took it on the knee and then deflected into the boundary for 4. Ambris and West Indies A will take it anyhow it comes.
23 for 1, so. Wrapped on the pad, loud appeal, not out, says the umpire. Ambis, I got the impression that he was going across, and you can see Ishan Kishan having his hands up still. He must be saying, how could that not be out? Perhaps it took an edge, but he was definitely coming across. We can't say from behind where it struck him, but he was going across. India A, feeling they had an opportunity of a wicket. Ambis once again caught in an awkward position going across the stumps.
The shot didn't merit that delivery.
Let's watch it.
I think he was very fortunate. May have just been going over as adjudicated by umpire Brathwaite.
Could have been a bit high.
But it wasn't a short delivery for that shot.
And I think that's what the batsmen need to look. So Ahmed, the end of over number 5, 23 for 1, and Ahmed comes in to start the 6th over. Reface coming through for a quick single. Return comes in, but does not connect for Manish Pandey. And backed up in the deep.
And we can advise you that the World Cup finals, New Zealand 241 for 8, England 241 all out, and apparently it's going into a super over.
Wow,
what a way to conclude this World Cup.
And Zorel, we don't have the TV cameras to look at it because we have to be here doing our part. What a thing, unbelievable.
I can only imagine Ian Bishop and Ian Smith.
It is amazing stuff. But Ahmed is trying to see if he can put his hands up maybe for the next World Cup for India.
I'm sure a lot of these players on both teams have their eyes set on the next World Cup, 2023.
And the left arm bowlers, they have been really successful in the World Cup. You look at from Mitchell Starks to Mohamed Amir. You go back down to a few others. Afridi from Cottrell, you also Afridi from Pakistan, you know, Wahab, the old customer, on and on. Those are rare commodities but very effective, and Ahmed is about to prove that he's one of that quality. 1 for 11 so far in his 3rd over. West Indies A, they reply to 24 for 1 after 5.2. Beautiful delivery. That one beats him just outside the off stump and coming back. Slip Corden hoping that something can edge. Let's
Lovely delivery there from Ahmed. Thereabouts outside the off stump.
It was good pace as well.
Very impressive start here from Ahmed. Very impressive start to this tour.
As I mentioned, he would have had at least one ODI and one T20 international. That means the selectors are looking very carefully at him. Amber Scott's, but deep third man boundary is protected. So Ambis turns the strike over to Reefer. But the spotlight is on Ahmed. He believes that he can really make some more inroads into this West Indies A batting lineup. Reefer, though, would have had a brilliant 4 in the previous over. Oh, he's out caught. In fact, no, that one played him. He indicates that it was his pad. That was a brilliant one coming into him. He was leaving it alone. The ball played his pad, went to first slip, and Reefer survives. That was a special delivery. Let's look at it. There was Reefer. Opting not to play on that one.
I think he got saved on height. It may have taken above the pad. And in the umpire's opinion, climbing over the stumps, he wasn't playing a shot.
But explain to me why. No commitment at all, and you know the capacity of Ahmed to bring the ball into him as a left-hander and also bring the ball away from him. Needs to get that front foot forward. Let's see what Ahmed does. Beauty. Superb bowling. Kenny Benjamin would love to see this.
And that last delivery is exactly why he got into a tangle on the 5th delivery. Because Ahmed has been getting the ball to seam away when it is pitched. But that delivery was heading back. There we see it seaming away. That last delivery, he was squaring up there. But the delivery before, making height, but it was coming back to him, wasn't going away towards the slips, as most other deliveries had been doing. Found Reefer in a tangle. It's been good cricket. Good, impressive fast bowling from the left armer, Ahmed.
Well, the West Indies batsmen would have to endure high-class bowling if they're really going to come through this period. Ahmed and Deepak Chahar. So these two continuing to apply some pressure after 6 overs, 25 for 1. It's Ambis who is on 15 facing Chahar.
I think one of the things we can say about the early exchanges of this series is that Ahmed is putting his hand up to the Indian selectors to stay on for the senior tour. He's looked really, really good with the likes of Bumrah to be rested after the World Cup and their workload. And let's just have a look at this.
Quality stuff.
There was Reefer back on the cross. Opting to leave alone. Would have been struck slightly outside the off stump, but not playing a shot. But there was bounce, and it took him in the leg region. So in the umpire's opinion, probably struck outside the off stump and also missing because of height.
Also the excitement in the appeal also came because the ball carried to slip. You know, so it's a dual situation here, but we see some consultation between Captain Pandey and his opening bowler, Chahar, perhaps. They are making some decisions, but the field remains the same, so Chahar will continue, I think. Ambris already in position, works it off.
Not very orthodox is Ambris. Not elegant. Very workmanlike. Cumbersome at times. And I think Deepak is aiming to get that ball to move away from him. But if he remembers how he got LBW in the first game, walking across his stumps, he's aiming to start it on the stumps, probably on center stump, center and leg.
On again into his pads. A leg by, signal by umpire.
It's the beauty of this game, in whatever format, to see a bowler looking to work a batsman over. Certainly, that is the intent of Deepak in bowling to Ambrose. He now has to contend with the left-hander, Raymond Reefer, in this restructured batting order of the West Indies A today, coming in at number 3.
Oh, he fishes at that. And that was an ugly shot. It was short, it was there for the hit, but it was not decisive. Just really had his bat out at him, so Ishan Kishan would have been happy to receive the edge. Let's look at it, short, and he just fanned at it. Good take by Kishan.
Wasn't fully committed to playing a cut shot, and the delivery in the end didn't seem to make the bounce that was expected.
Shah continues to work. Good diving stop. I listened to a discussion during the World Cup regarding the improvement in the fielding of the Indian cricketers, and they said that Virat Kohli decided once to enforce within the system to provide excellent outfields, and that also had something to do with that change of approach by Indian fielders, and we've really seen some refreshing fielding on the part of the A team so far on this tour. Oh, Reefer is in all sorts of trouble. That one was keeping a bit low, close to the stumps, and he was trying to dab. He wasn't sure what he was doing, a measure of uncertainty. Maiden over.
And let's look at the schedule of the remaining games in this series. The third game back at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium on July 16th. The fourth and fifth games we go back to the Coolidge Cricket Ground on July 19th and July 21st. Then we're back at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium for the first unofficial test match, July 24th to July 27th. And on to Trinidad for the second and third games at the Queen's Park Oval.
Beautiful delivery once again from Ahmed, beating Ambrose all ends up. That one may have started just about on leg and went across the right-hander, and he's been found wanting. Look at it.
Continues that brilliant spell. Good control. Pitching down just on or about the off stump. Ambrose never fully committed to being back or forward. Was in no man's land and fished at it.
I think at this stage the Indian seamers believe that they're having the bet, even though they have only gotten one wicket. They believe they have something on the West Indies batsmen. Ambrose drives back past the bowler. A big chase, but it goes across the ropes for 4.
Long half volley there. Picked it up early. A little bit of right hand coming into play. And tugged it past the man at mid-off. Straight back past the bowler. Let's look at that. There's the right hand coming into play. Bat and pad not necessarily close together in the approved fashion, but he knew where he wanted to hit it and picked up 4 runs.
At least that may bring some measure of confidence, because the bowling has been on top. Cracks but under bounce.
And that's what aggression does. Having been driven for 4, there was Ahmed pulling back his length, going short, and for the first time allowing Ambrose to play an attacking shot off the back foot. Unfortunately for him, didn't find the gap. But good intent from Ambrose, forcing Ahmed to make adjustments. Let's look at it. Short delivery outside the off stump for the first time in this innings. Ahmed pulling his length back.
Ambrose stares, but Good fielding coming around the boundary. Good return. It's only a single to the West Indies, a cause, 131 for 1.
Looking more comfortable there, Sunil Ambris. It's the way he goes about his innings. Workmanlike, as we said, and gets better the longer he's at the crease.
Contest continues between Ahmed and Reefer. He has Reefer in all sorts of trouble. Though Reefer elects not to play, or elected not to play on that occasion, it would be interesting to see what the follow-up delivery is. Ahmed has really gone past the bat on several occasions to Raymond Reefer and also to Sulin Ambris. So he walks back. The final delivery, it will be of his 4th over and the 8th over of the West Indies 8 innings. They're in search of 256 for victory after India posted 255, India 8 for 8. So they're making an adjustment to the field as Reefer waits. Down the leg side, wide signaled by the umpire. So at least you're allowed to make one error, because he has been so good in his deliveries that conceding a wide, I don't think the captain would be too hard on him.
A good contest developing here between Ahmed and Reefer. Reefer trying to cover his off stump and exposing his left leg stump. And there was Ahmed aiming for it, probably looking for some swing behind the back.
Reefer covers up. At least looking a bit more comfortable at the end of the over, at the end of over number 8. Reefer will be happy to walk away on 5. Speaks with Ambris, who is on 20. So Ambris leading the charge, not out on 20, Reefer on 5. Campbell, the batsman, to have departed for 5. And West Indies had lost 1 for 11 at that stage. They've progressed well to 32 for 1.
Ahmed 4 overs for 18, having had a 4 hit from that over. As Ambris counter-attacked, as against just trying to survive.
Well, that had to come into play, because it would have been the Indian seamers fully in charge, but at least that moment of aggression, at least Ambris would have struck, what, 3 fours so far. Reefer 1. West Indies A, along with the 4 by Campbell, would have struck, what, 6 fours. Works it off the pads, Ambris. Only a single. And it moves to 33 for 1. It will be interesting to see when Reefer gears up, because one gets the impression that although Raymond Reefer has been brought into the number 3 position, that he likes to have a go, but he has been having a torrid time, particularly against Ahmed. Now that he's exposed to Chahar, it will be interesting to see the approach that he takes. So, Chahar. That one did not trouble Reefer at all. Allowed it to go through because it was wide of the off stump. So Chahar.
I think what we're seeing here from Deepak is he's getting a little bit frustrated. He's getting frustrated. He hasn't had any success.
So Reefer attempting a single but retreating. Well advised. So the pressure would be on Reefer. 5 from 20 deliveries. And being in a position which he's not accustomed to. He has been challenged. 5 from 9 deliveries, in fact, including a 4. So he has had 2 scoring strokes from the 19 deliveries which he has faced. This time he cracks this one down to backward point. It will cross the ropes for 4. Does so he gets his second boundary to move to 9 and pushes the West Indies A up to 37 for 1.
And that would certainly add to the frustration of Deepak. There he was going wider, trying to get that ball to slant back to Reefer. Didn't come back, stayed outside the off stump. Reefer waited on it and punched it between the 2 men behind the crease on the offside. Picked up 4 good-looking runs.
This time he defends. Responds well.
A partnership is certainly needed here. The target is 256. Current scoring rate 4.2 and the required rate at 5.3. Partnership of 26.
They would need to build. They would need to go beyond that, the Indian opening pair. Posted 151 for the first wicket, making this India a very special batting unit. Reefer once again charging down, but good ring fielding would prevent any single. That completes over number 9 after 9 overs. West Indies A, 37 for 1.
Of their 50 overs, India A compiled 255. Setting the West Indies a target of 256. A good innings of 85 from Gaikwad, supported by Gill's 62. Shepherd was the lead bowler for the West Indies with 4 for 36.
I like to see the approach by Pandey, the Indian A captain, maintaining his opening bowlers for the first 10 for the full power play, recognizing that there is still some pressure on the West Indies A batsman as he comes into ambush. Drives at that in the air, but it falls short of the captain himself. So ambush with aggressive intent, but is fortunate. Captain in disgust, having to take up the cap, believing that an opportunity to be out caught was there. So Ahmed once again. Ambush drives, but well, a direct hit, but Ambush was well in his crease. In the end, no harm for the West Indian batsman. So Ambush getting a single and bringing Reefer on to strike. He had already, is he just getting in, and then the return comes and hits the stump. Ambush confident. Seeing a bit of overcast here from the brilliant sunshine we have had all day.
After the showers of yesterday, this overcast is nothing to compare.
Well, just to cool it down for the West Indies, eh? Oh, another beauty. He has a Reefer on the cover. Ahmed with a beautiful delivery. We don't have the pitch map, but that one was just back of a length. And he was groping, but the ball beating him once again, going to Kishan. Once again beating him and beat him with good movements. And Excellent bowling on the part of Ahmed.
A good examination here for Reefer. Good high quality, fast left arm bowling.
Reefer gets back. They're coming through for a quick single. The return comes in. Does not hit the stump. So Reefer moves to double figures to 10. And Ambris. Look at this. They're coming through. The return was just wide of the mark. So they have had a few direct throws. Ambris is going to face. He's on 22. Trying to lead the charge to bring some respectability to the West Indies score. Steers it down to third man. Only a single. And taking the West Indies a total to 40 for 1. Question is, would Pandey continue with his opening bowlers after the first power play? Or would he allow perhaps another option or the spinners to come into play?
What we did see from the first game was that the spinners were the ones who came in. However, the inclusion today of Saini. Saini is a right arm medium fast bowler.
Yes, in place
So
of
he'll obviously be
Washington.
given an opportunity with a hard ball.
So this will be the final delivery of the first power play. The battle again between Ahmed and Reefer. Reefer has endured so far. This time he jumps and he plays it defensively. Out to Pandey. No run. That completes over number 10. And after the first power play, India A 40 for 1. Ambris 23, Reefer on 10. Then Mo Roberts will continue.
Another good solid over there from Ahmed. Good pace, good bounce, good movement. Has really tested the West Indies A batsmen at the start of this chase of 256. After the first 10, West Indies A 40 for 1. Lost the wicket of Campbell, caught Kishan, Bowl Ahmed for 5. Sunil Ambris and Raymond Reefer leading the charge.
So a steady start by the West Indies A, 40 for 1. At the end of 10, scoring at exactly 4 per over. And we've had some really world-class So the World Cup final is also in progress.
New Zealand required 2 to win of the final delivery of the Super Over.
Well, it can't come any tighter than that, Kenny Benjamin. And I think they say if the scores end up level, the team that hits the most boundaries in the Super Over will win. So it's all to play for in that World Cup final.
How did the tennis go then, Mo? Wimbledon.
Djokovic won in the end. He was able to win on a tie break after 12 all in the final set. This one is struck away. Big shot. 6 runs. Went with it and it carried a very long way.
That was a good shot. And the West Indies on 47 then, Mo, but contrasting what we are seeing from the first innings when India A batted, we were seeing the intent to get, as we look at this huge hit again by Raymond Reefer over mid wicket, landing well past the party stand. But we're not seeing a lot of singles.
Always the difference between West Indies batting and other batting.
And it seems like England have won the World Cup for the first time.
Well, they're waiting to be certain. We're just waiting to be certain, making sure. But we know definitely that Roger Federer was defeated by Novak Djokovic in the final set tie-break after they got to 12 all in that match in the fifth set. That will go down as a classic. So, with a run out on the last ball, England are the World Cup champions. Kenny Benjamin?
Well, it was a good final, going into the super over and getting so close. Obviously, everyone except New Zealand would have been happy. They got good entertainment and good value.
47 for 1. We've had 11 overs in this reply. So they are ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis pass score, which should be 43 at this time. There are just some high clouds around, nothing as threatening as we saw yesterday here in Antigua and Barbuda when we had rain in the afternoon.
And I was mentioning earlier on, Denmo, we are not seeing the West Indian A batsmen rotating the strike. We're seeing them, unlike the Indians, where they were working the ones, working the twos, very evidently in their first 20 overs or so. And if a boundary comes along, they will take it. The West Indian, on the other hand, it seems like they are waiting for the boundaries. And if a single come along, they take it.
Could that have been part of the plan, maybe? Why would you think that they would send in Reefer at number 3 at this stage?
Well, I don't know why he would have gone in there. Quite a few other options that captain could have looked at. I must say, though, he looked a little bit lost in terms of when he came in at first. He looked like if he didn't belong, playing and missing. We saw on one occasion he was leaving alone, the ball coming off the tie. His fielders were appealing for a caught, and then initially appealing for a leg before. But he looked a little bit at sea. He's starting to get into his own now. And I'm sure with the spinners coming on, he may probably look to be a little bit more aggressive.
But we saw that aggression when he struck that huge 6 over the mid-wicket region. And maybe the West Indies would want him to push things along a little bit and then not leave too much for the batters to follow, or too much work to follow.
Well, he's on 16 from 30 balls or so, which is suggesting that he's not really scoring at any pace. So if he's going to catch up, then he really got to get the motor going. We're seeing that the bowler from this end is going to be.
So we have Navdeep Saini, who is coming today to the squad, and he replaced Washington Sundar. This is a loud appeal, leg before. He's given him. So with his first delivery, he struck. Saini coming in, getting that one to cut back at the right-handed Sonny Lambris. Trapped on the crease, leg before given. He's out for 24.
Yes, it looks good from here. Again, as we watch this delivery.
Pitching in line. Probably a little high. Sonny Lambris would probably feel that he's gotten a hard one 2 days in a row. But he has to go. And West Indies A, they're now 47 for 2.
And even though, yes, maybe a little bit unfortunate there, Denmore, we definitely looks a little bit high and probably would have missed as well. So definitely unfortunate day again for Ambris. I'm sure we we may see him
But
coming to pay us a visit shortly.
I think the thing that Ambrose needs to learn from these two dismissals is the fact that he keeps playing around his pads and he keeps missing it. And so we see the captain, Ruston Chase, has come out at number 4 to join Raymond Reefer. And he will have a lot of work to do today for the West Indies A team.
The thing for me though, is it was the first ball bowled by Saini. And rather than having a look to see exactly, obviously he probably would have known a lot about him. And we are not seeing the cautious approach by the West Indies batsmen. We're seeing them pushing hard at deliveries. We're not seeing them playing the cricket and working it away, playing with caution and waiting for the deliveries to score off. We're seeing them trying to create certain shots and trying to create forcing opportunities rather than just playing sensibly, playing cautiously. And this has caused the demise so far of the two batters. Two openers have gone back into the shed. And obviously, we are not seeing any learning taking place from the last game at the Coolidge Cricket Ground.
So it was his first delivery. So they wouldn't have seen him. And this one, it pitched in line, but it had an angle that was angling back into the batsman, and you could see there in the batsman in ambush playing around his pads, trying to play that one on the onside. Missed it completely. Umpire thought that it was adjacent and sent him on his way. Oh, he's there trying to work up some pace, getting that one high over the top of the batsman. Let's see what the call is, wide it is. Short delivery, banged into the pitch over the top of Saini, the top of the wicketkeeper. Halfway down the pitch, Kenny Benjamin trying to work up some pace. And what we've been noticing is that they've been good pace and carry from the Indian bowlers.
Definitely good pace and carry. We saw Ahmed bowling some good deliveries, the keeper taking them in front of the chin and over the head, and now we're seeing Saini. But what is strange then, when we were not seeing that type of aggression, we're seeing that lacking from the West Indies A bowlers. We're seeing them bowling some good steady deliveries, but we weren't seeing the type of aggression that we are now seeing from the Indian bowlers. Funny enough, then how things have changed.
Certainly. This one was right in line. He was trying to attack the stumps. Maybe not. Maybe it's psychological, because I remember at the toss, when Zoral had the toss this morning, the Indian captain also said that he would have bowled first because he believes the pitch was going to get better in the afternoon and probably take the pace a lot better. And so with the people that he had, he would have wanted to avoid it. So he's going to get runs here. Gets a boundary. This is a glancing shot. A little bit of up and down movement. So 50 runs have come up from 73 deliveries in 61 minutes. And the West Indies have struck 7 fours and a 6 in that 50 run, the first 50.
Exactly. 7 fours, that's 34 runs out of 50. Or 53 or so, then more. And contrasting to the India, I'm sure that they would have struck a lot less boundaries when they reach 50.
Called wide outside the line of the off stump. So he's having a bit of an issue getting his radar sorted in this first over. Got a wicket the first delivery, but has since struggled, has had a problem, has been all over the place since that first delivery.
So far in the overs that have been bowled, then more, some 12 overs have been bowled. The West Indies have scored some 7 singles. Is it? How many? No, seven boundaries. Is it?
Yes.
They have scored 7 boundaries. It would be interesting to see how many singles that they would have scored. 13 singles from 12 overs.
Yep. So out of 60 deliveries, 13 singles. We're going to see spin for the first time. Deepak and Ahmed open the ball in, 5 overs each. There we have the new bowler on screen, who is going to be Rahul Shah. Rahul Shah coming in.
Right arm leg spin bowler, Shah. The cousin of Deepak Shah.
Certainly. You tend to think that he's going to be a key factor. Well, the spin bowlers, they're going to be key factors in this run chase today for the West Indies. Let's see how the
just thinking about
West Indies
the way that
batsmen
they're gonna
handle them
approach
today.
this.
Feeling experience, the way they're hoping that they can onto the field. Kenny Benjamin. What will be the approach today of the West Indies A team?
Well,
That's a wide,
they say
so
after
that's
3
4
strikes, you're
wides.
out.
Added to the
West
score.
Indies A batters
Ball
didn't
pitching
really
on
show a
line
lot
there
of
by Shah.
commitment
The
in
keeper
the last
couldn't
2
hold on
games.
to it.
This pitch
And
looks
it
a really
came
belter.
down all the way
Played
down to
well. Just
the
some
final
turn
leg
we
for
saw
3
plus
from
the extra.
Raheem
So
Cornwall.
Would you say that
And
the
the West
Indian
Indies A
wicketkeeper
batters
is under
would
pressure?
want to
Isan Kishan,
make sure that
with so many good
they,
wicket keepers around,
utilize
in
the 2
in
changes
India.
that came in.
Well, I think
today
at time
we saw
pressure is
Kevin
good, and
Fall
he
and
should.
Devon
I think
Thomas.
he should know
We'll
that
have
with
to
the
see
quality
if they can add
that is in
anything
India, so it's always
to-
going to be an opportunity
this
for you to
batting
grasp.
lineup that
because
has
there's so many
struggled in
looking
the
over
last
your
2 games.
shoulders.
Yes, Kunal Pandya and Washington Sundar and Avesh Khan all in for India today. West Indies openers coming in. Somebody that we haven't seen feature a lot in the Indian setup is a name Sanju Samson Elambris. I'm surprised that I don't see him featuring quite a lot, and he looked good in the IPL.